So let me start this seminar by telling you that we are starting this series on mind-body medicine. This is a very complex subject. Therefore, I will try to stimulate you, also try to make it entertaining, but nonetheless make a very difficult subject as easy to understand as possible. So let me start the seminar with a question. If I were to give you two choices, give you this long talk on about the human mind based on the hard work that people have done over thousands of years, scientists, philosophers, and done experiments and the neuroscience and figured out things that are true and things that are not true. That is one choice. The second approach is to give you a wonderful motivational talk so you get goosebumps. It will be like going to the church in the morning, Sunday morning, or listening to Deepak Chopra and give you a pop psychology. What would you rather have? I can tell you the second approach will motivate you a lot more, but you may not actually benefit from it. You will be very excited during 2 hours, but after you leave, tomorrow you go back to your life and there is no benefit. What would you rather have me do? I can do it either way. I know how to do it either way. What approach would you rather have me take?
Number one.
So majority is in favor of number one. I have to see a majority, so raise your hands. So I see about 60 to 70% of the people. So it's democracy and majority rules, so we have to take the first approach. We are starting this series today. It's called Mind-Body Medicine. This is the first seminar in the series, which is primarily going to deal with the brain, mind, consciousness, and freedom of will. The second seminar will get into more specific details about mindfulness and meditation. And the third one is all practical. The third seminar, which will probably not happen until April next year, will actually discuss techniques and the things that have been proven, researched. Scientists have looked at many different things in the popular culture and see which ones are a hype or part of the popular culture and which ones actually seem to give good positive results when you do clinical trials. For example, use a scientific method and see which one of these actually benefit people and which ones turn out to be fruitless. So the third seminar will be on actual specific things that have consistently, repeatedly given positive results, and some of those, just to give you heads up, is meditation, biofeedback, yoga, tai chi, muscle relaxation, hypnosis, etc., etc. Or prayer, believe it or not, have shown positive results. Perhaps we will do some exercises for each one of those techniques. And if you like these seminars, then towards the end of next year, I intend to actually take these seminars and split them into 10 seminars. Because what we are really trying to do is to take a lot of information and try to condense it in a very short time frame. And sometimes that can be very complicated and become very intense. Although I'm going to try to make it as simple and as understandable as possible. In January and February, we have to take a break from mind-body medicine and finish up the series on nutritional medicine. So the second seminar on nutritional medicine is January 29, and the third one will be last Saturday of February, because most seminars are last Saturdays of every month with the exception of November and December because of the holidays. There have been, as I suggested to you, two approaches to addressing the issue of mind, what mind is. And the popular approach is what was the second approach, believe it or not, which you guys don't like. And that approach is there are self-proclaimed gurus everywhere who get you very excited, give you goosebumps, and they attract a lot of followers, and they become billionaires in no time. And that includes, it's not confined to one religion or one kind of people. There are popular TV ministries, and then there are the Hindu gurus who are like 3,000 just in LA alone. Some of them have written books, become very popular, and made a lot of money because some of the people, instead of giving their 6% to the church, now give it to them. Unfortunately, that benefits people only in terms of entertainment and feeling good about themselves and get excited and want to go and listen. But it doesn't really do anything. There's no practical application. There's no understanding. At the end of the day, they don't really tell you what is it that they really said in the last 2 hours. You are still blank. So I think you made the right decision to take an approach which is makes sense. You want to listen to those people who have done a lot of reflection and contemplation and actually gone a step beyond and try to do experiments and try to understand what is mind or consciousness or the brain, how are they related? Don't you want to know? I bet every single one of you from time to time ask yourself a question. You know, what is mind? We hear about the brain and then we hear about the mind. What do they have to do with each other? Is there any relationship? Is their mind something that follows you everywhere you go, right behind you? Is it like a halo around your head? Wherever you go, it's with you? So because of the abstraction, because of the difficult subject matter, people take advantage of that and get you involved into the language so deeply that you begin to believe it as the truth. You start talking about cosmic consciousness, cosmic energy, quantum energy, all kind of stuff. But we are, as you have requested, going to try to stick to the facts, the things that we know for sure, and the things that we don't know for sure, and then the things that we know for sure that they are not true. So there are three categories of things. The things that we know are right, things that we know are not right, and then there are things in between we don't have the answer yet. So that is an honest approach. So when you go to school, you learn about the brain. In popular culture, you go to church, you hear about the mind, and you almost never hear about how the two are related. And whenever you start thinking about it, after a while you kind of get frustrated and you're like, this is too complicated. To think about it for 5 minutes and then you don't want to go any further. I want you to know there is also a problem with this first approach that you guys like me to take. And that problem is that this approach has been taken basically by the academics in universities and basically the kind of talk that I will give you in the upcoming seminars is more similar to what is discussed in academic centers, and unfortunately this kind of talk is not generally given as public talks because scientists and thinkers and universities also have a bias against the public because they look down upon public as though it's not for public to understand. It's waste of time. So they give talks where professors and people like that are listening. But the question is, if you are not going to bring that knowledge somehow to public, how is public ever going to know? There are 6 billion people out of 6.8 billion in this world. They believe in God, mind, consciousness. They are the ones who populate this planet. Are these people going to live in isolation? So I've made a commitment that I want to bring these subject matters to the public. That the problem is that because of the complexity of these subjects, it can become very taxing, it can become heavy duty and very involved. Therefore, I'm going to try my best to simplify it as much as possible and take the jargon out. There is a guy out there, I don't know if you heard about his name. His name is Richard Dawkins. He's become very famous. He's a world famous atheist. Oxford University gives him a lot of funding to do science education to public. And the approach he has taken is to tell those 5-6 billion people how stupid they are. That's how he teaches science. Meanwhile, his books have been translated into 20 different languages. So if that's the approach you are going to take, I don't know, maybe he's right. People are stupid, but if you're going to tell them how stupid they are, the chances are you can teach them. You will only invoke hostility, and they will come and get you. Some scientists don't want to talk about these subjects in public because there is also the fear that it's going to start a cultural war because there are many controversies, and that can evoke all kinds of emotions among people. And then, therefore, they don't want to get into this kind of stuff with the public. Any famous academic who has tried to bring this kind of knowledge to public have been criticized always. Even Bertrand Russell, who was a famous mathematician, philosopher, he took the task of bringing this kind of understanding to public, and before you know, his first book was not even yet published, and there was a criticism from all academic circles that he's trying to make money and he's trying to be popular, that he's not doing the right thing. He's making an academic matter into a popular subject. It's not popular. It's about the truth. You don't distort the truth. So anyone like myself can become a subject of criticism. But without any further introduction, let's get started. I am going to be talking a little bit about the brain first. And the reason that is important is you have always wondered about that, have you not? Like, where does the brain come in? What role does it play in the scheme of things, in this entire story? Now, brain, as you know,